What's going on, Bills Mafia? I'm your boy TG. It's my boy Nature Boy. Welcome back to Top Billing, man. But before we get started, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, click on that notification bell, let us know when we drop some more content, so we get the thing popping, man.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, man? We had a lot going on in the camp. We wasn't able to do day by day camp like a lot of other content creators. But on that note, shout out to those content creators. There's been a couple of them that's actually went to camp. Gave us a breakdown day by day, what everything looked like. Give us a good visual, of what was going on in camp. Who was shining, how the battles were looking, coaching and things of that nature. So, shout out to all those content creators and YouTube channels, who were there, breaking down each day, giving us great content on what things we're looking like at training camp. So, On that note, man, just on everything that we know, interviews, videos, or whatever information that we have, what are your thoughts in regards to training camp?
Well, this year's training camp at St. John Fisher, it seemed like a more strategic training camp going in. It's like they had the format laid out pretty much on how they wanted things done, especially with some of the position battles, allowing guys to get reps in. The intensity levels once the pads got on, it went up a notch, but it was good competition. It wasn't too chippy of a training camp, although we did hear of a couple of little back and forth altercations, but it wasn't never nothing too serious. Josh Allen got nicked a couple times during training camp, which you never want to hear that, but he shouldn't be getting touched at all. So, shame on the couple of guys that tried to get their shots in on him, But overall, I think this year's training camp was highly successful. I think it was run at a championship level, if you want to say that, from hearing a lot of the eyes from the outside looking in, from a lot of the people who went to go visit up at St. John's Filter to watch them practice. A lot of the buzz was like highly competitive. Competition on both sides of the ball. The defense will win one day, the offense will win the next day. The guys that you were looking for to shine, your stars, Gabe Davis, Stephon Diggs, we heard they had pretty solid camps. Davis came on pretty late, but they say Diggs showed out from day one. Also, whole nother level. And also Dalton Kincaid, they said you wouldn't have thought it was his first training camp from watching his abilities in practice. So overall, I believe it was a good training camp, and one that we need going into this season. How about you, big guy?
Well, I agree. I heard it was just the speculation alone. It was a good, well put together training camp. To your point, very strategic. Like Coach McDermott like to say, very methodical. But like you said, Dig Shine. I love the fact that he put everything to rest the very first day. Like he put everything to bed like first day, and got everybody's questions answered, whatever feelings and emotions they had towards whatever speculation that happened in minicamp. It got put to rest, and it helped everybody move forward. So I think that part alone was huge. But from like you too, from day one, he's been doing things. Hearing people speculate about him, say he's on another level.
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely going to come out the shadows from being the top 5 to probably be a top 2 receiver this year, if not
Mm-hmm.
number 1.
Yeah.
Stephon Gilmore already said he was number 1 receiver in the league. So
Oh
shout out to
man.
Stephon Gilmore, man, for that.
Oh yeah.
The emergence of Gabe Davis, Dalton Kincaid, to your point, was hearing good things. Trent Sherfield had a consistent camp. Hardy, has been having flashes at the camp. Shakir been battling. So, just hearing the defense, was on another level. Like you said, one they took turns of, having, victories. Like, offense may win one day or defense may win another one. It wasn't just a
Mm-hmm.
total defensive dominant, camp. They
Right.
both took their turns, and like you said, it was strategic. I think that it gives me more confidence in Ken Dorsey's ability to run the offense going into this season. Him putting pieces together and going against Sean McDermott, who's calling the plays.
Mm-hmm.
I did hear that it did struggle against the blitz package and pass pro, which it was concerning to me.
Yeah.
Kind of gave me glimpses of last season, like we're still struggling. We can't pick up the blitzes properly, but like I say, I'm glad it happened at camp rather than happening during the season. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
overall, man, I think it was a very I'm confident, in our ability to be to one of the top teams in the league. Not just in
Mm-hmm.
our division, but not only in our conference, but the entire NFL.
Yeah.
Bar, of course, health, of course. James Cook, man, just hearing about him and and seeing how confident he is in his role. It's no, well, best man win. He accepts his role. Like
Yeah.
I'm RB1, no doubt. Like
No doubt about
there's
it.
no discussion about that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And
You got to
he's
love that
confident.
confidence. Yeah, you gotta love that kind of confidence.
Yeah, yeah, and I love that about him. You know what I'm saying? People speculate, or they may have their doubts about him carrying, being able to carry, which is warranted. I mean, he really never really just carried a load, as a back, but
Right.
just seeing that he put on the weight and his second year in the offense and see how dynamic he is, man. That's very promising. So, but other than that, man, the battles were, as advertised. It was, one person may win one day, other person may flash the next day, and it was just to this
Yeah.
day, it's still ongoing. You know what I'm saying? So I think training camp was very successful. I think I think it was better this year compared to last year.
Yo,
Like you
yeah,
said,
really
it's
is.
just the being the more strategic part of it makes it better, and it seems like we're more prepared going into preseason, um, going into this year, and help preparing us going into the season. So um, shout out to our coaching staff and the front office, man, for putting together such a very successful camp. To my
Yeah,
notes.
yeah.
So being that, man, we got a lot of battles, right? A lot of battles that were happening at camp, and
Mm-hmm.
we talked about it last show. What are the battles we were looking to see the most, and it's pretty much the top 3 battles was across the board that everybody wanted to see.
Yeah.
So I think the most intriguing one, well, I ain't gonna say the most, but they were all intriguing in their own fashion, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't one more than the other. So what we want to talk about, which I really want to dive into, is the CB2 battle, man. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it was very intriguing. Everybody, I ain't gonna say everybody, a lot of people want Kyer Elam to, even me, to take over to show ownership over that position, to
Yeah,
really, put forth, put his stamp on, and that's my position. But he couldn't. He could.
he could.
He still had some demons from last year, being handsy.
Yep,
Reportedly handsy, and I
yep,
think Steph got in his ass about that. Towards the end of camp, but he also had some good moments of where he was, making some plays. And then you have
yep.
Benford, who's just continually not going to let it ride. He's
Right.
not going to give in. Quiet confidence.
Yep.
And then you got Dane Jackson, who's a trusted vet, who's been in the system, and what everybody like to describe as, Sean McDermott trusts him,
Mm-hmm.
to be where he needs to be. So what are your thoughts? What's your feedback about the CB2 battle?
Yeah, going in, we were hoping that Kyer Elam would take ownership of that position, especially being a #1 draft pick, somebody that we actually traded up for.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, uh, he had a solid camp, but like you say, the word in camp was he was handsy a lot. It was a lot of plays that he made to where even Ken Dorsey and some of the guys on the offensive side would say, "Hey, in the game that would be a flag." So you celebrate that now, but in the game you would actually be penalized.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he has the confidence, but he still is trying to get it in between the ears. He's trying to get it up here still. And he has the athletic ability to do it, but he's still learning still the fundamentals. He's still, I guess what you would say, pretty raw, especially for the complex type of coverage scheme that we run.
Yeah.
But when you switch it over to Benford, I mean, this dude is just as steady as they come. He was pretty quiet early in camp, but they say, that last week, man, they say, he really grabbed hold, and made every rep count, and that's just another notch up for him,
Mm-hmm.
that's not gonna make, that's just making him look even better. And
Yeah.
then Dane Jackson on the other hand, it's just the same Dane Jackson that we've been knowing for the last 3 years,
Yeah.
from the moment he stepped on the field. Dane Jackson is always in position. He's where he's supposed to be. He fits well within the doing his 111. That's what he's good at doing, his 111. He's not somebody that's going to take over a game or be this big game changer, but he's not going to be somebody that's going to be the reason why you lose the game either.
Right.
So it's still up in the air to some degree heading into the season opener. They're still battling for it, but like I say, it's a toss up, man. It's still that's the best battle going on in camp right now.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, like I say, it's up and down. There's no two going head to head. It's still all three. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll love it because it's like, I do want to solidify corner going into week 1, but we all know that they're still going to get their reps throughout the season. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think so to a certain degree, let's say Elam doesn't win the position, but he may be featured one week to where, like, say, he did the best job against Tyreek Hill. You know what I'm saying? So maybe he'll get to start that week. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
just being able to have these type of players to our disposal to where we can start them at any time. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But
McDermott has been known to switch out and swap at that CB2 position. He done
yeah,
it the first year with Levi and oh man, the quarterback that we what is his name?
Gaines.
Yeah, him and EJ Gaines, they swapped out a lot. Then the
Yeah,
next year, him and Kevin Johnson swapped out a lot.
right.
So he's done that, and it hasn't bitten him in the butt yet. I don't think it's anything that will. He knows when and what situations to do it in.
Right.
And he also knows like 1 week, one guy will play more than the other based on, what scheme
Yeah.
offense that we're taking on, So yeah, it might be Kyrie playing 60% of the snaps this week, and then Dane playing 60% next week, and Benford might play more of the snaps, against a bigger wideout. It just depend on what the matchups are that week.
Right.
So
Right. Which is a good thing. You know what I'm saying? So
mhm.
that part right there, I'm not. That's what makes me like, I don't even care who wins CB2. Because at the end of the day, you know, we trust McDermott is going to be, make the decision and basically, to your point, matchups. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah,
it's not about, oh yeah, we know Trey's going to be our CB1, no doubt. But it also works out in our favor to have, these corners to our disposal because the other team don't know what we're going to do. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
So, I think that it's a good thing to have that. But this next position, this is important. This position is important. We ain't no rotating in this one. Like we have to know
Right.
who our middle linebacker is going to be. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just on speculation alone, it seems like T Dot is his job to lose. But somebody said something. I can't remember on what podcast they said it, but it was interesting because it was like they won. I might have been Buffalo Plus. Um, they said that they want Bernard to win the position. Um, not that they want him to, but um, it's pretty much without saying it, yeah, they want him to. Like it's all set up for him, not set up, but it's his job to lose, pretty
Yeah.
much. You know what I'm saying? Because his skill set, they drafted him in the third round. He's a great cover linebacker. Um, and his only thing is, man, he ain't got that nasty like T Dot. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So, but T Dot, you're gonna have to pull him out the game. You know what I'm saying during coverage, calls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Cover down,
Um,
third down.
yeah, or based on formation to a degree. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like it could be second and 8, and then you got based on the offensive personnel, you may have to yank them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? To have Milano in there and run, dime or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
but Bernard, he has that versatility to where you don't have to pull him out the game. You know what I'm saying? Because his coverage ability and instincts and be able to play the run and all that. So, um,
Mm-hmm.
why not wanting to have a player like that, starting for you? But neither here nor there. What are your thoughts?
Well, at the end of the day, he still has to earn it. Regardless, who you want to be at that position. I feel like the trust that I have in our coaching staff, whoever is out there earned it. You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So
Mm.
I won't have an issue with whoever's out there at middle linebacker come week 1 because I know that they done whatever they needed to do to earn that position. Last year, T Dot to me, he wasn't the best in coverage, but he wasn't that big of a liability. But
Yeah.
him doing that for 17 games, I don't know. I believe your more experienced quarterbacks, your Aaron Rodgers, even quarterbacks like Tua, who's real, real studious, real smart. They would be able to pick him apart. They'd be able to, really expose his weakness in pass coverage. But like you say, we do have the ability though to be able to replace him on passing downs because we do have other coverage linebackers on the roster. So it wouldn't be that big of a liability, but I don't know if McDermott wants to do that. I think he wants that Mike linebacker to be out there all 3 downs setting up the defense, getting guys where they need to be, and making the calls.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. At the end of the day, man, it's gonna be the best man win at that position as well. But I think T Dot, man, I think he's just a little bit more stout in that run game, man. I
Yeah.
seen a clip. I seen a clip of a goal line. It was a jumbo formation, 3 tight ends, and they shifted a tight end over and brought him in motion. So it had Bernard where he was set up, like in that middle gap. He was like in between the center and guard, and they ran it to the left side. He got caught. He read it terribly, to be honest with you, but
That
he
was the
got
first
caught.
game. That was the first play of the red and blue game, wasn't it?
It might have
With James
been.
with James Cook.
Yeah, James Cook. Yeah, shot up the
Yeah,
left
yeah, that was
side.
horrible.
Yeah,
That was horrible.
it was.
Horrible.
Yeah, and I seen that. I say that right there. We can't have them kind of lapses during the regular season. You know what I'm saying? That seeing that, man, teams are ground and pound this week in and week out.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we have that kind of linebacker play in the run game,
Yeah.
he has to be better in the run game if he's
Well,
gonna win that
my
middle
my
linebacker.
my take on that, man. I do want T Dot to win it, man. I honestly, I want Dorian Williams to take over, but we ain't there yet. But for
Right.
right now, I want T Dot to take over because of that by itself. We can throw packages together and against the pass. I mean, if
Mm-hmm.
anything, just don't put T Dot man to man in certain plays based on personnel if he's still in the game.
Right. Don't have it matched up against Kelsey 1-on-1. Don't be
Right,
foolish.
right. You know what I'm saying? So, even though he may be a little liability, I would rather have him in there because, to your point, he's a better in the box linebacker
Yeah.
compared to Bernard. I don't like Bernard's game. You know what I'm saying?
Me
I don't.
neither.
And even I don't care how instinctive he is, he just to me, he's a better outside linebacker than he is in the middle. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I would not dare put him in the middle. Now, if he happens to maybe in a year, let's say next year, he put on more weight because they were talking about how muscular he looked, and I didn't see it.
Yeah, I
And
didn't
then how
see
much
it.
weight he put on, I didn't see it unless it's in his legs.
Yeah.
Unless he really puts it on and really is more of a physical player, then yeah, he's gonna have to show me. I
Yeah.
may change my mind, but for right now, I don't really see him being a starter middle linebacker. I don't care how much he communicates. Like
Right. And I
you
don't
had to
care
be
what
able to be a
scheme.
dog. You had to be a dog in the middle, and I don't even see dog in him.
Right.
You know
And,
what I'm
and
saying?
and I know we're gonna get into this a little later on, but to be perfectly honest with you, I seen more out of Dorian Williams today than what I seen out of Bernard, period,
For two
anytime
seasons.
last year.
Yeah. So you can say we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. Man, we ain't gonna play spoiler on that one. But they did take Baylor Spector out of the race. They did say he did have solid reps, but apparently they seen something that obviously we didn't. So
Right.
he's out of it, but it'd be a good backup piece. I still like him, but I think he's more of an instinctive backer than Bernard is. But it doesn't matter. Bernard is still up in the running for it. He'll probably fill in a backup role, but I do like T Dot in this position. So,
Mhm.
all right. So this is where we got the right guards. Bates and Torrance. I've heard more leaning towards Torrance having a better camp. I'm not saying Bates had a bad one. I think he was more consistent. But again, you want to have players you can trust. At certain points of the camp battle, spent mainly in pass pro. Torrance was a little bit of a liability. during camp. But Bates was a liability majority of last year. So what do? Do you go with someone that you trust, or do you go with someone that you can develop and coach and know that he can get better? So, what are your thoughts about the right guard battle between Torrance and Bates?
Uh, well, I think Bates' flexibility, the ability to play up and down the offensive line is one of the reasons why he's favored, in this Bills roster. But he's light in the ass, man. He's barely pushing 300 pounds. His weight is in his lower body. We see him get bullied a lot. Not I'm not gonna say get bullied a lot, but we do see sometimes he's the chink in the armor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I like his game at times. He's smart. Like I say, he's very smart. He picks up blitzes well. When he doesn't have a guy to block, he does well in those type things. But when I look at an offensive guard, I look at a bully. I want somebody that's going to be able to bully, somebody that's not going to be able to get pushed around, and somebody that's going to stand their ground. And although Torrance might have had his problems in pass pro, not major problems, but he had his little problems here and there during camp. That could be worked on.
Yeah, I agree.
And the best way to work on that is with snaps on the field. Just let him be out there, get a feel of the flow. How these NFL defensive linemen are, because it's even a different level than it is to college when these are grown men. And they play with grown men strength. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With more athletic ability. So I feel like he just need to get his feet wet, and he'll be okay. He'll be okay. Now, from what I see from him in the run game, or what I hear from him in the run game, hey, he's what you're looking for. He has the ability to to get to the second level. That was one of the concerns that people had with him being a flat-footed type of guard. They know he can maul, but does he have the ability to get up to the second level and make good key blocks? And I think he's shown in camp that he does have the ability to do that. So yeah, for me, going into the season, I hope that Torrance wins the job from day one.
Yeah. So we haven't really, if I can remember, I don't think we had a really bully of a guard since Richie Incognito. I think that was the last nasty offensive lineman that we had. That was an actual bully. So Torrance, I think, fits the mold, kind of a quiet bully mode, but he has that nasty that we need, man. You know what I'm saying? I know, the boys from Penn State, people want to see Bates and McGovern, play together, but we're not in that type of business, man. Like,
right.
We need to show dominance, and we need to run the ball. We need to protect Josh Allen. We have to go to the Super Bowl, and we can't go to the Super Bowl having Torrance on the bench, a healthy Torrance on the bench, and a healthy Ryan Bates starting that position. That's my opinion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I know they've been going back and forth in camp, and I know they got Torrance listed second on the depth chart. But Torrance going against the Jets, Torrance needs to be the guy starting that position. If we want to be successful. Now, we want to just make everybody happy. Yeah, go ahead and put in Bates. Him and his college buddy McGovern, and they can start together and they can struggle together. But you put your boy Torrance in there, and we want to win. We're gonna start that rookie. You know what I'm saying?
We'll watch Quentin Williams take Bates to lunch for 4 quarters.
Here's what
yeah, for real. It won't be that nice. Yeah, they be saying, call the principal, please get him out for it.
Put me in backup, coach. Put me in backup again.
Yeah. Please, coach, get me out of here. Get him out of me. That's what's gonna be going on.
I know it. I know it. All right, man. So there's been some people making noise at camp, though. You know,
Yeah,
um, I was surprised about Cam Lewis, man. Cam Lewis sounded like he was a heat-seeking missile out there. You know,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
yeah, he don't want to give up his position on the 53. You know, I heard about his name uh, a lot more than just put it like this. His name has been thrown out there a lot.
Yeah,
Been making some plays. He's been stepping up, making his or her. He made a hit against Latavius Murray. 6'3", 230 something pounds. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Cam came in. Or he made a big hit on Latavius Murray. I don't know if he got hurt from that or whatever, but they were talking about it was a really big collision. So Cam been making some noise. Um, my man Hardy been making some noise. Little Mighty Mouse.
Yep.
They've been talking about how small he is. They even think he's smaller than 5'6". But he's been making some noise. But the biggest ones for me is probably Trent Sherfield, man.
Yep.
He's been consistent. It's been a blessing that he's missed camp. Diggs missed OTAs and really OTAs really, and
Yeah.
he got those reps. We talk about
Yep.
Kincaid been making noise all camp that we're not really surprised about. So it's just a couple of people, man, that have been making some noise. I think Leonard Floyd. That's expected. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
So it's just hearing these other pieces, man, making noise in camp is very encouraging. So what's your take on that?
For me, my cap standout would be Trent Sherfield. I heard he's been making some miraculous catches. He's been breaking some ankles out there with some of the nasty routes he's been running, and I
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like he may have solidified himself as the slot receiver. Not the number four, but I think he might have solidified himself as the slot receiver, and Hardy, the number four, or however they want to work that. But I think Sherfield's ability to play inside and outside and to be able to play all the wide receiver positions and his ability to block in the run game. I heard that he's been tremendous in the running game and
Yeah,
blocking.
yeah,
So hearing that is a plus too. We needed a bully at wide receiver to get out there and make some noise in the run game. So
yeah.
yeah, he's been my camp standout so far. I've heard some good things about Taylor Rapp. I heard he's been doing good things.
Mm-hmm.
Puna Ford as well.
Yeah,
A lot of the guys that we brought on that are veterans from other teams are showing, why they were, should have been big time free agent signings. We got
yeah,
good steals in this free agency this offseason.
yeah. We did, man. We did. So that's what makes it. And on top of us having a really good camp, a really, like I said, methodical camp, and we have these pieces coming in, getting good reps. And you can really hear from people talking about it like these are really really good reps. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like people getting really good valuable reps, and you hear that they are um, taking advantage of these reps. A lot of them are. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So it's a very competitive camp. Um, I heard Trey White has had a wonderful camp. You know what I'm saying? He's back to his old self. Maybe be a little better. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So him going
I,
against
I, I
Diggs.
heard I heard that the catches he's given up have been where he's in excellent position. They just
Yep.
been perfect throws.
Perfect throws.
Yeah,
Yep.
like nobody would have been able to make a play on him. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
hearing that is very encouraging. Being year two removed from that knee injury.
Yeah. Yeah. So I expect him to be mentioned back in the top five, cornerbacks in the league.
Yeah,
So like I say, man, we had a lot of people making noise. The battles were good. So overall, it was a good camp. So now, that being said, we had to put it all together, man. We got to put it all together. Today we had our preseason game, highly anticipated when we came to Buffalo. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, against the Colts, I think they had the kid Richardson, Richards out there. What's his name? The
Uh,
quarterback, Anthony Richardson.
uh, yeah, Anthony Richardson. That's him. That's
Anthony
exactly
Richardson,
right.
yeah.
Anthony Richardson.
So had him out there. I was actually wanting to see how he did. Heard a lot of
Yeah,
good things about him.
I was actually pleased with how he played.
Yeah,
They kept it pretty simplistic. Uh, the one mistake he did make, the interception he threw, it was from a hesitation, and then him just trying to make an arm throw. But
yeah,
he's a quarterback, and in all honesty, he's just as raw as Josh Allen was coming
I
into the
agree.
league.
I agree. Yeah,
And he showed some promise when he was playing within the Florida offense. So
yeah.
uh, I think the coach may have got him one there, with Quentin Richardson. He looks like he wants to learn the game. He seems very coachable.
Yeah.
And that's what you want out of a young quarterback like that. He didn't get too down over the interception, So yeah, I think the coach got him one now. I was wanting to see him as well.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think later on, I would love to see him take more command of the offense.
Mm-hmm.
Later on down the line. Um, but like to your point, yeah, he did make some plays. He did seem comfortable. I think that was for me. That was the biggest thing. His comfortability. Within real live action. I would want to see that. So and he proved it. He didn't seem rattled. At all. I think he showed. I ain't gonna say he showed more composure than the kid from Houston, but for him to be a rookie and especially being raw, I was actually pretty
Right.
pleased.
You wouldn't have thought that Stroud played more ball in college than what Richardson did from watching them in their first preseason game.
Exactly. That's a
Yeah.
good way to put it. Hey, that's a
And
good.
Richardson brought the wood to his former teammate Elam over there on the
He
sideline. You
sure
see him
did.
rolling his shoulders on. Yeah. I said, look at that. I say little friendly love tapped out. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, man. But overall, man, I think, man, we played really well, man. I think it was good to see James Cook running between the tackles. He ran hard, like you told me earlier. Like he put on some weight. He played
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
didn't hesitate. You know what I'm saying? He showed ownership from that RB1 position.
Mm-hmm.
Offensive line showed good push.
Yeah.
I just, I think Allen, man, I just don't think he's a QB2 man for us. He may get better.
Yeah.
Within these next couple of games and be more comfortable within the offense. But based on today, man, he's what we saw, what we heard about in camp. Not
Yeah.
saying that he was trash or anything, but he just to me he just didn't seem comfortable in the offense. And I know Matt Barkley been in our system for years, but even when Mike Barkley was in that system the first year, he did the same things he did today. He got rid of the ball, he
Mm-hmm.
trusted his reads,
Yep.
and he got it out of his hands. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So
Yep.
QB2, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they'll do with that. But if Barkley performs consistently like he has today throughout preseason, and Allen still struggles, I think we need to pull the plug on Allen. My
Yeah.
opinion. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
And Barkley did it with the number 3 receivers. He had the number 3 receivers looking like number ones out
Exactly.
there, man.
Exactly.
They were
Exactly.
catching some highly contested balls on the sideline. It was hitting them dead in the hands. I mean, what I seen from Barkley, it almost made me want to chalk Kyle Allen off the depth chart right now. You know,
Yeah.
he was
She
so
said,
sporadic. I mean,
yeah,
there were times in the pocket where the pocket was collapsing. He wasn't getting touched, but he was just almost freaking out. You know, it's just and that's not what you're looking for somebody who, if they do have to come in the game and at least be composed, that's not what you want to see.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree, man. You know, so let that alone. Talk about the running game. I think we're gonna have a strong running game. As long as we have the right pieces on the offensive line. I think
Right.
that's going to be important, and to properly have them in rotation. You know what I'm saying? Like we just
Mm-hmm.
can't just have just anybody filling in because of the depth chart. Like
Right.
if Bates is he can play any position on the line, and we feel like he can win based on the matchups. I think that's who we need to plug in. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
having those pieces in place and know how to utilize them is important. Our receivers, I think Shakir, had a good day minus the drop on 4th and 5. The kid Patman, man, I've never heard of him.
Yeah, I ain't heard of him either.
Yeah, Patman, he stood out a little bit.
All them boys. Patton, Keyshawn Johnson,
Keyshawn Johnson.
uh uh not Shavers. Like I say, Shavers, he caught that touchdown, but yeah, Shavers, they cleaning his lockout at the moment. Yeah, as we speak. They taking his name tag, his name plate off his locker as we speak. Yeah, and I mean he dropped so many that hit him right in the hands today. It was unbelievable. But
Yeah,
to me, Latavius Murray looked good today. He still got that pop, man. He still got that spring in his legs, you know.
yeah. Mims, running
Yeah,
back Mims,
yeah.
Fresno
Mims looked
State.
real good, man.
Yeah,
He looked real good. His vision was on point, man. He was, reading his blocks well.
explosive.
The guy we picked up late, Darrington, what is his name? The guy that played for the Titans last year. Evans, yeah, Darrington Evans. He looked good.
Yeah,
Yeah, he looked good. He looked like somebody who would have been drafted in the 3rd round. I
yeah,
mean, he was decisive on his cuts, reading the blocks, and this was with 3rd string offensive line,
yeah,
So yeah, what I seen from the 3rd string offense today overall was an A plus plus plus. I mean,
yeah.
they were on point today, man.
They
They
were,
were
man. They
on
were.
point today.
Yeah,
Like I told you earlier, I love what I seen from the left side of the offensive line, the starting 5. What I seen from Dawkins and McGovern, they were plowing that side of the line down in the run game.
yep,
Torrance held his own. It was a pleasure to see a stud, somebody who looked like a grown man playing the position.
yeah,
He did real good today, and
yeah,
and the coach was only down one starter on the defensive line, and that was Buckner. They said if
yeah.
Buckner would have been there, that would have been their starting 4. So
Right.
yeah, we did real good against they number 1 defense, man. We did
Yeah,
real good.
yeah. So to talk about our defense, man, I think our defense played well. Um, Minus what we talked about, the running game. Still
Yep.
interior. We need to work on our interior linemen stopping clogging the holes against the run
Right.
because it seems like they continue to get on that second level within the interior on the run plays. Other than that, I think we played very well. Um, didn't really give much up at all, on defense. I think, we're going to talk about Dorian Williams, man. Dorian Williams really made a case for himself today.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
football player.
Yep. You want to know what I seen out there?
That size don't matter with that young man at all.
It don't. You want to know what I seen out there? Who? I seen a dog got that today. That's what I seen. I seen somebody that was around that ball like it was a bone. I mean, it was a. I look 7 tackles, 6 of them solo. I
Yeah.
love what I seen today. It's like I feel like I hit the nail on the head when I said he's a thumper.
Yeah.
He's an athlete. He was light on his feet. He wasn't necessarily that instinctive when it came to pass against run, but his athletic ability allowed him to kind of be able to overcome it because he was so light on his feet and quick to react to the ball, you know.
Yeah.
So and like I told you too, his point of contact with the offensive lineman, his point of contact when he made his tackles, it wasn't wrap up, drag down. He was hitting. You know what I'm saying? He was engaging with the blocks and getting off. You know, it wasn't him getting locked up and, you know, drove back. It wasn't that at all, you know.
Yeah.
So from what I seen from Dorian Williams today, he checked off all the boxes for me, man. I might need
I
to see
agree.
a little bit more pass coverage, but other than that, yeah, he checked off all the boxes for me.
Yeah, he did. He did, man. And that goal line, what he did at that goal line, he a grown man in that goal line. You know what I'm saying? He
Yeah,
made the play, even though they did. I think they had a penalty, and you know they walked in. I mean, it was like inches at the goal line, but the play before that, man, he came in there and stuffed the running back. Man, I was like, man, he eventually gonna be a starter for us this year, not next year.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
and Matt Milano.
man. Just think of them two vicious, relentless. Oh man,
I
oh
know.
man, Thomas Davis and Luke Kuechly all over again.
Yep. So I
Yes,
hope
sir.
he has a standout preseason. We see what the next one is. We're going against the Steelers,
Mhm.
but we'll definitely going to see, you know, what his campaign looks like throughout the preseason. For the most part, I think our defensive line played very well today across the
Yeah.
board. You know, I did send you a text about Shane Ray getting dumped on his back. But you know what? Boogie Basham had a really good day.
Yeah, he did. He had a
Boogie
solid day.
Basham, yeah, he definitely made a case for himself today.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
To me, it started out a little shaky, but it's like once he got within the flow of the game, yeah, and him and Puna Ford played off each other real good. Yeah,
yeah,
him and Puna played off each other real good, man.
yeah,
I love seeing that little stump in the middle of that defensive line, man. I mean, it's almost like every play he was getting so much penetration, so much drive because he's so low to the ground already. You know, it was the pleasure to see the interior defensive line on all fronts, first, second, and third team. They all look good.
yeah.
Uh, uh, Number 51, the Samoan guy, I can't think of his name. Uh,
Aku,
yeah, he's been with us a couple years now.
yeah,
He is a stud.
yeah,
Anytime he got in last year, man, it's like he flew off the screen.
yep,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
yep,
he wasn't a liability. He would get in for a snap or two, but he always flew off the screen to me last year, man. I love his game. He's like a hell of a nose tackle.
yeah,
He is. His motor's going 100% all the time. And I think he's somebody who's going to be a mainstay on this defensive line, probably floating in and off the practice squad. But he'll get his play. He'll get his due run this season.
yeah. I agree, man. I agree. So, but yeah, man. Other than that, man, I'm very pleased on, you know, what the training camp has been, and you know, it being strategic. You know, walking to the preseason, it was everything that, honestly, everything I wanted to see. You know what I'm saying? And we were at home, and we put on a show for our fans, and you know, it's just definitely, I want to go back and watch the tape, and I want to see, you know, who stood out and what are some things that we can fix. You know, so our next show, that's what we're gonna be about, man. We're gonna look at the film and, you know, really look into, you know what, I think, you know, so and so didn't get enough shine, or, you know, man, like this particular play, you know, they did this. I think Tim Settles had a good game, like you said, but all our interior linemen did. So, but yeah, man, I think overall, I think we're both pleased on the outcomes of training camp and the results of the preseason game. And to be honest, I like Coach McDermott, what he had to say before halftime, right at halftime. He was like, man, we're playing sloppy. And he started naming out things that we, even though we did a lot of things good, did a lot of things well, but we still need to clean it up. You know what I'm saying? So I really like that approach.
He wasn't focused on the good at all.
Not at all. Not at all.
I love that. That's expected.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we've been working for. But there's other stuff we got to clean up if we want to be Super Bowl champions. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I really love that mindset, man. So, but other than that, man, that's our show. You know what I mean? So, like I said, man, you know, we're gonna celebrate the weekend, and you know, Monday's gonna be back to business, and we got the Steelers coming up in the second preseason game, and these guys, it's time to go. You know, we got to make sure we know what we're gonna, you know, put in our 53, and we're gonna see which 22 guys gonna be on the field. You know, starting September 11th. So. Bye, my man. Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. You know, shout out to our boy Blache, man, once again for, you know, keeping it together and helping us keep this show going. You know, yeah, man. And shout out once again to all the Buffalo Bill content creators for, you know, keeping us, you know, enlightened and posted on what's been going on throughout training camp. So, you know, shout out to every one of y'all, man. Bills Plus, Buffalo Fanatics, Cover One. If I forgot, you know, I can't even think of your podcast right now, but you know who you are, man. But also, man, for our viewers, man, don't forget to hit that like. You know, if you don't have it subscribed yet, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell for our next show. You know, I'm your boy TG, your boy Nature Boy, show top billing. We out.
All right, peace.